Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of TNC Movie Nights. I don't know how to feel right now because I'm excited to watch a movie with my friends, and I'm excited to do these, I don't even know what we're calling them, these watch-a-thons or whatever the heck. As you can see, our good buddy Mike is joining us again. Always happy to have him on. But today, as I'm sure you're aware, we are watching Dolittle, which means that this is about to be a trip. I'll just say that. So it'll be nice to get angry, to feel something in this world that we live in. But maybe I'm excited because you know what? Maybe I was wrong to judge it so harshly the first time. There might be something I like in this movie. I doubt it, but let's find out together. Go ahead and roll it, Brando. Let's just get it over with.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to know if I'm crazy or if you guys are also in the same boat as me.
I loved Dr. Dolittle growing up. I love Robert Downey Jr.
This ain't it, brother. This ain't it.
Yeah.
Even the Queen of England called on him. So grateful for...
You can see your discomfort already. We're barely 10 minutes in.
Did Johnny really do this? We treat all...
We are 4.5 minutes in.
Trying to pretend like I don't know what happens. Just to be like, oh, well, he's trying to save a squirrel. What a nice little boy who just shot the squirrel. Hello, I'm Mr. Tumnus.
All I can say right there is Robert Downey Jr. was just mad that Benedict Cumberbatch got a cape that flew to him. He needed one in this movie.
His slaves, because, like, that seems like a very not cool thing to do to your friends. Like, I would never make you guys dress up and just stand in place until I decided to kill you. Welcome to the humor of this entire freaking movie. Haha, look, a butt! Isn't it cute? Hope he just eats him.
Yeah, that one definitely didn't land for me. But this whole mice chest thing, this is good. I'm sorry, I love that.
Royale now?
You notice that the narrators and the parrot have the same voice. I wonder if that's gonna come back later right next to a freaking castle. So stupid.
Wonderful. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand what I'm saying? Go.
No, because no one sounds like that.
I don't care about anyone, anything, anywhere.
We've seen him do a British accent before.
You sure love to.
He was good at it in Sherlock. Now he's going for this, like, vague, Scottish, Welsh cartoon, and you're just like, why?
Well, the Queen wants or summons him. Like, would assume is like an Ace Ventura kind of dude.
Guess I'm scared of
Without
kids
an
too.
official title.
Come on, let's eat.
Or
I'm going to be
does she
offering today
think?
a brothty soup.
You'll never believe what we caught in the...
Okay.
What would
Wake
be,
up. Everything will be fine.
If I die, I swear I won't haunt your house.
Sterilize the scalpels. Do not lick any instruments.
Patient's condition is stabilized.
They're understanding him, and he's understanding them in their own languages.
Welcome to the party, pal. That's when you know that this movie was made for toddlers. When they show you something like 4 times, and then someone goes, oh, wow, the thing we just showed you 4 times, put into words, because you're too stupid to realize it by now.
What is this, Vietnam?
Okay, enough
That was great.
Oh my god.
That was so funny.
Work with humans.
Obey.
Oh my god.
Exercise.
Stress, emotional
Revenge.
Okay, that line.
If the queen
Because
dies,
every time I look at him, I
the
think
deed
Simba
and we
now.
lose this
So
house.
great.
Dad damn got the razor.
Last year salary.
99.
That's John Cena, alright.
I'm sorry, but put the call back to the celery joke. Razor, that's still celery.
Rummaging through my private projects, is it?
How is he?
Well, first things first. The squirrel's name is
Alex, you're missing out. This movie's great.
And after some violent grooming, it's been decided.
Just wait.
Company to
Just
Buckingham
wait.
Palace after all.
Don't forget Duck's forceps. That's a
Oh my god.
You are so easily entertained. He's like crying, laughing over a stupid celery joke.
Oh my god. The call back to that is just killer.
Oh god.
Oh man. Because I didn't even like the joke at first. When they were first doing it, I didn't like it. And then they kept throwing it at me. I just love it.
Oh, that was...
They just all shoot the ball up there.
They are the Queen's own guests.
Fire!
Treat them accordingly.
You better give us a wide berth. Big way, boys.
I wonder if that's the bad guy.
I accidentally unplugged my headphones, and that was the best 5 seconds of this movie I've ever seen.
I shall continue to leach, circulate the vapors in the bloodstream.
Wonder who the bad guy is.
That's what Mike, when your headphones were unplugged, he's like, I wonder who the bad guy is. Yeah.
You gotta die.
Oh, sorry about that, Minnie.
That's some of the thing with that too, though. I mean, I think that was kind of clever because, you know, there's no cameras. How are you going to find out about her being poisoned or whatever it could be? I don't know. I did kind of like that, honestly.
I'm gonna finish the job. He won't rest till I'm dead. He's obsessed.
Stop! Slow the pace down!
No, I want to go faster.
This squirrel. I need more of this squirrel in the whole movie.
I hope you make it.
Me too, Dad. He made it.
Dolittle just fully accepted he was gonna die, and he's like, I just don't want to hear it.
He's all right.
My question is, who is chanting "Do It Again"?
Glad you came around.
Some mice or squirrels, or who cares, because this movie sucks.
The boy nearly killed himself.
Careful with that medical equipment.
That one didn't get me that time.
It was just lazy and annoying.
Yeah,
That was...
He's absolutely
not that
thrilled
time.
to have you.
But that one got me. The sneaking octopus in his own tank.
I think I'm getting this. I'm actually starting to understand.
It's been like 2 days. I've been to a zoo. I spent about 2 days worth of my life at a zoo. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because I'm a person, and they are not. Mike, you've had pets your entire life.
Yeah.
Have you ever been able to have conversations with them?
Can you fly? No. Can you swim? No.
No.
Well, what can you do?
That's with cats and dogs.
I can run.
Not polar bears and monkeys.
Well, what bear stuff can you do? You win this round.
See, I totally understand your frustration, but I'm trying to accept this is a different world sort of thing. It's a different, I don't know, situation. Because I've been looking...
Oh, you were saying warship.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
I would say, my thing is, I was more taking this as a world where you really care about animals. Then it's like you can start to understand them. And that's where I was kind of taking it from, because, you know, Dolittle, he loves animals more than, like, anything. And, you know, this kid, he didn't want to hunt, he hated it, and that was kind of the, like, to me, it was like the proof to the universe that he's worthy, sort of thing. So that's what I've been taking this as. I know it's a bit of a stretch.
It's a magnificent chin, sir. We're in their sights. Cannons are taking aim.
I did remember really liking that line in the theater. When he sees him mouth the word chin. So stupid.
Just slip into something. Let's comfortable.
Stop talking like that.
Okay, I can do this.
I guess one thing I don't like so far is the fact that every animal is helpful and nice. I would think there'd be some animals like this whale. It's like, hey, we need help. Nah. I'd say every animal that realizes he can speak to them is just they're just nice to him.
It's the universe and allowing him to pass the talkie test, whatever the fuck you said.
I dropped the rope.
The whales. And this movie is pretty fucked up already.
I failed. I knew I couldn't do it.
What's funny is, this movie isn't terrible yet. Just hold on. Just wait a little bit longer.
Yoshi! Hang on! I'm coming, kid!
Because right now it's just kind of stupid, sometimes cute, rarely funny, but like fine.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I've had 2-3 moments I've really liked because they were just dumb funny. But the rest of the movie, like, there's just not a whole lot going on.
Are they giving up?
I am the chosen one.
They're in a warship.
You are so easily amused.
That was
funny as hell. I'll give you that.
Come on.
Sir, I'm afraid your obsession with Dolittle.
What obsession? I'm not obsessed with Dolittle. You're obsessed with Dolittle. You're the one obsessing about my obsession with Dolittle. I'm loath to admit it.
Alex, when he talks about the movie Dolittle.
For now.
That was good.
Hey, the captain had to find his zen.
Appreciated himself as captain and crew. Nobody.
Jesus hurt you. He's angry.
I would have laughed so hard. Wait.
That was Jesus.
Some of the boat's on fire.
Monteverde itself is not a big deal.
The stop at
Hey, look!
It's the palace.
Parents gonna tell us what happens instead of them showing us what happens.
Inside, their path ended.
You know how movies work?
Bolted door, naturally. But Dolittle still
Just show us! It's a movie! Show, don't tell. It's a parent telling us what the...
Been down this road before, man.
Opening bid will suffice.
This movie sucks shit.
Don Hamley's not
Okay, they finally did it
made for this.
where the animals aren't like, we'll do whatever you say because you can understand us.
It's not.
So I do appreciate that a little bit because they're, having to barter with them.
The ant is a mob boss, and you appreciate this?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It also took 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jay. Mistake I made here. You can't fly.
Okay. That was a little funny.
Let's not walk on the quiet floor or anything like that. Let's just pick the loudest, noisiest, most complicated way to walk across a bedroom.
If the movie was about the dragonfly and the squirrel, it would already been right now.
We got the journal. Open up.
Just kidding. He blew it. Bye. Oh dear. Stubbies.
I do like. Goodness, I do like the connection that they did with Dolittle and his wife. I thought they should have done a pretty good job with, making us actually care about a character that we haven't actually gotten to see on screen outside of flashbacks. I'll definitely give them that.
No. Nothing about me is okay.
Piggybacking off that, I think the one thing that this movie is doing pretty well is
How you feel?
driving home the emotional point when it comes to him and his wife.
Yeah.
What is it? To keep going.
I just wish there's like a blooper of him not hitting him with the doll side, but hitting him with the blade just sticks in.
Just like a bad Halloween decoration.
Yeah.
Just like halfway through.
She's saying we don't have a ship.
Well, I got the perfect vessel for you.
He might be one of my favorite characters in this whole movie so far.
Bit of a fixer-upper.
To be kind of honest, I mean, there have not been a whole lot of characters alike. Yeah, I would say there haven't been a whole lot of characters alike, but I actually do kind of like him as a character.
Who's that?
Williams.
Again, the parrot narration drives me crazy. It's a movie. You have the ability to show us without telling us anything. And all they could have done, they could have even told us. Been like, how are we going to do it? Well, he's going to go find her, so we don't have to find it. We just have to find him. All right, cool. Move on. But no, instead, they have to show us ish and then tell us with a parrot telling us how to do it. This movie sucks.
30 minutes left, and probably realistically 25 because credits.
What are you complaining about?
Remember what he just said right there. Remember those words in that order. We're going in the back way.
A big cave.
Foreshadowing. I'm actually glad you haven't seen our last episode, Mike, because I talked about what happens here, so it's not going to be as disgustingly surprising for Brandon as it will be for you.
I'm excited to hear his reaction.
That's the thing, is like you unfortunately, and I am fully responsible for this, you don't have the blind optimism that I had and that Mike has going into this, where you're like, it's just a movie. Robert Downey Jr. talking animals. This should be fun.
A path all the way to...
The lot of you! Come on!
Your face.
He saved me. I have a second chance.
He is like for real dead.
Do Did you know the leak is the national...
Full circle with that joke, Brandon. How about that for a
I
callback?
might feel a bit of pressure. I got her.
Bit of pressure.
Oh, good heavens!
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, my God! Just clearing the way. Is that armor?
Just shoved the leak up a dragon's ass.
Gives a deep breath. Hold it. Would have worn it.
I forgot about the bagpipes. Jesus Christ! That's right, because he pulled the armor out. She didn't fart the armor out. She farted the bagpipes out. It was the bagpipes. Oh my God!
Simply only.
Oh my God.
Shoved a leak up a dragon's ass and made it fart. And then they made us watch it again because the bagpipes were in the way. Who brings bagpipes into a cave to find a dragon and a magic tree? Why do you need bagpipes? Makes no sense.
The dude, they couldn't just walk through a waterfall? That could have eliminated the last 15 minutes of this movie.
I've spoken to ladybugs, making a wish before they fly away.
Oh my God.
Let's have a look.
Oh, I'm out. I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do this.
No one messes with my family. Take one more step and I'll rip you a brand new end.
To the tower with him.
Oh, someone's been a bad boy.
Well, I don't know what...
Oh my God. Oh.
This is TNC Movie Nights, and we just finished watching Alex's favorite movie, Dolittle. And I want you to start. I want you to start talking about this movie, and then I'll take it, and then Alex will finish.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, it was horrible. That is probably one of the worst, if not the worst movie I've ever seen. For a couple different reasons. One, I felt like it was just trying to hurry itself up at times just to get to exciting parts. Number two, I had to constantly remind myself what they were doing because to me it was just that boring, that awful, and that's just the top ideas off my head on why this was horrible. Alex, care to add on to that at all?
Oh no, I've seen this before. Let's let Brandon give his thoughts. Everyone knows how I feel about this movie.
So this feels really weird to say, and I understand that you will disagree with me, but the movie needed to be longer. Because, as Mike said, it felt rushed. It felt like they were kind of just skipping through important details. They could have really given us better character development with the main, child that was with Robert Downey Jr.'s character of Dolittle throughout the movie. They really should have given us more of that. Maybe introduce the Queen before she's just laying in a coma. So there is a bit to the movie that kind of really needed to be explained. But at the same time, the movie was extremely boring because there were so many parts that they really weren't doing a whole lot. They were kind of just traveling. And I know that sounds okay because you might think of a movie like Lord of the Rings, where for 3 movies, they're traveling. But a lot of stuff happens while they're traveling. This movie, they make it to a castle where the Queen is, get on a boat, and then they get to an island, and that's pretty much it.
You thought I was joking when I said nothing happens. It's not a movie.
Yeah. So it was definitely like those parts were pretty bad. It was very slow, dragged on for a bit. I probably looked 3-4 times on how long the movie was through because I was like, wow, this has got to be getting close. Or this is not even close to over. And it was just kind of this weird middle ground the whole time. I was like, oh, wow, there's 30 minutes left. They haven't given us a whole lot, but they have to wrap it up soon. It's confusing, but okay. I do have to say this was... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the whole time thing, it was, what, an hour, 40 minutes, hour and 42 minutes, something like that? It felt like 3 hours. It felt like... You know, the first 5 minutes was awesome. That animation style we were talking about, I loved it. If the whole movie was like that, I would have preferred that. But as soon as like 10 minutes hit, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be painful.
See, it's funny because I'm on the other side of it. The first 20 minutes, 30 minutes for me, I really was enjoying the movie. I was really having
that celery joke.
Oh my goodness! I'll definitely leave a couple of those in the full episode, but they killed me with 1 or 2 jokes in this movie, and I was almost crying laughing. So I definitely can't say for myself that this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, just on the fact that there were a couple moments where I loved the parts of the movie. That being said, it was not a good movie. It's a very bad movie. It really is. Couple goofy, funny moments. The characters in the movie are actually kind of okay, except for Dolittle's weird accent. There's no characters I'm like, wow, this character's just... I get him off the screen. The villain character I thought was decent. There's a... weird like Alcatraz island, and the leader of that island that happened to be Dolittle's wife's dad. Cool character. I really liked him. Anytime he was on screen, really enjoyed him. I thought the kid was actually pretty decent. They just needed to kind of go a little bit more in detail on why and how we can talk to animals and stuff, because there's a lot of the movie that leaves you being like, okay, but why? And with it being a bad movie, you kind of just want to be like, it's because it's stupid is why. And they really could have done a better job of explaining a lot of parts of the movie when the movie was so boring for a lot of it. So it was really confusing that you're asking so many questions, but they just left you with nothing for about a good 50 minutes of that movie of just literally nothing happening. So.
Yeah, because nothing happens. Because it's not a real movie. Nothing happens. And then a parrot tells you about stuff that happens in a castle. And then a lot more nothing happens. And then he shoves a leak up a dragon's butt, and it farts, and then they take out the bagpipes, and then they go home. That's it. That's it.
I know one thing that we were able to agree on that was done very well in the movie was the communication between animals and humans, on how they were able to flip back and forth very, very smoothly with the cameras.
That part was good. The whole idea of it, totally full of like plot holes.
Yeah.
The fact that like they establish, oh, okay, so he is speaking their language and he understands their language. But then they put him around animals that he's never been around and he speaks their language. Like, how are you talking to a dragon? And then you can kind of like, maybe he studied him. Maybe he this, maybe he that. Whatever. I'd be okay with that if they didn't also do it with the kid. Because he was on the boat for like 2 days, and he's speaking polar bear, and monkey, and goose, and gorilla, and everything. And then you're like, okay, I'm trying to justify things. It's like, okay, there's a lot of time where they're just waiting around, I guess. Immersion is the best way to learn a new language. Don't buy it, but I'll let it slide. And then he's talking to a dragonfly, and you're just like, how? Dragonfly wasn't on that boat. Ants weren't on that boat. Dragon wasn't on that boat. But you can talk to everything now. And then later they show him studying the Peacock book and practicing. Because you need to practice because you're speaking their language. Except when they want to, I guess. I don't know. It sucks.
It's really funny because they could have taken out a couple parts of the movie and it would have made sense. Because to me, almost the entire movie, I was, okay, they're just speaking animal. He's not speaking giraffe, and he's not speaking elephant, and then polar bear. They're just speaking animal. But then they had to mention, oh my, he can speak dragon? When you put a line like that there's different animal languages, because literally up until that point, they don't mention speaking elephant and speaking bear, and it's just he's speaking to animals, and I was able to accept that the entire movie until they said he can speak dragon, because then it's like, okay, so there are different languages. How does he know all these? How at that point then I was like, why does the kid know all this? Because for me, I was, as I mentioned when we were watching the movie, I just said, okay, he's just you're chosen, or you're accepted, or however you're worthy to speak to animals, and then you kind of just can understand animals, not dragon, deer, and so on. Like,
and even that's a stretch. Like I struggle being like, I hear that and I want to go, yeah, but I mean, like I want to but that to death. But if I'm not being an ass, I could be like, you know what? That's an interesting way to think about it. Maybe that was what they were going for, and we as the viewers accept the reality that they present to us. But then, like you said, they just completely contradict all of that.
Yep.
Everything.
In just the last 15 minutes.
Right? Every way you try to explain this movie away, it contradicts itself because it's a terrible movie. It's the worst movie ever made.
On a positive note about this movie, I found throughout watching, the story was just awful. It was a dumpster fire thrown into a volcano. But the acting itself wasn't bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
RDJ, he wasn't terrible. Mm-hmm. No voice actor was like, I didn't feel like it was forced obscenely. It wasn't, like got it in the first take. All right, let's go. It wasn't awful. The acting wasn't awful. It was like a C.
Yeah,
that's fair. Especially when you really consider the fact that this genuinely is a children's movie. Like this was made, and so it's like, okay, yeah, you can get away with that. And oh my god, I swear, I'm actually really, really happy that you guys don't like this movie because it makes me feel so sane. Because we left that theater, and I was not exaggerating. When that dragon was farting, there were just whole families cackling, standing up, cheering. Like it was like their country just won an Olympic gold medal, and we were at the watch party. It was just like everyone in the family, everyone was there. They were cheering on that one person, and then they were just like, "We won gold," and it was just from a dragon farting. And you're like, what is going on here? And then they did it again. Just in case you didn't catch it the first time, we're going to put the leak back up the dragon's butt. Oh, what a twist this time. It's not armor, it's freaking bagpipes. Because
that's what dragons eat.
The funny thing with the movie is the really bad portions of it, the things that ruined moments, was because they did it too many times. Like my favorite joke of the whole movie was there's a moment where they say like scalpel or whatever they said for a medical term, and they just give him like a piece of lettuce, and that killed me. It was so funny. And then they did it again, and it was so funny. But then they did it a third time, and then they did it a fourth time. The fifth time they did it, if they would have taken out the third and the fourth time, because it was pretty much they were doing a surgery, they needed it, they brought up the joke, funny. They were packing, needed the item, made the joke, it was funny. Third and fourth time made no sense for the joke at all, but the fifth time, if they would have been 1, 2, like, oh, that was funny in the first 20 minutes, and then brought it back at the end, I would have lost my everything for that. I would have been like, Alex, you're stupid. That was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. If they just take out, like, and just like what Mike was saying, like, they just, what Alex was saying is like, they did the fart thing twice. The first time I was like, haha. And then they did it
This
again.
is stupid, but I can see how a 6-year-old would laugh.
Yeah,
at this.
and then they did it again. I'm like, okay, come on. Like, we didn't need that twice. So,
we didn't need that once.
yeah, it's just funny because a lot of movies usually are really bad because they don't give you enough, because they just, it feels like it's skipping all over the place and they're not doing enough. This one was, they did it too many times. They kept leaning on the jokes at points that were funny, but then they kept doing it. So
I think that's the big thing with this movie is that, like,
it was a joke the whole hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, I agree.
But it was awful, right? But movies are bad a lot, and then you forget about them, and then you're like, oh my god, I saw that. Do you remember that? And you go, God, that movie sucked. And you forget, like Lucy. We talked about.
I was just about to say Lucy.
I hate Lucy. It was awful. It made me so mad, and then I left, and then I forgot about it until I read it on another list, and I was like, oh my god, I hated that movie. This movie, it doesn't let you forget it because it does everything wrong while also being a bad movie. So you're like, okay, you suck, but it's almost like you're trying to suck on purpose. Like, you knew the right way to do this, and then you chose not to in every aspect of it. So you're just like, I hate you, and I hate you because it seems like you're doing this on purpose, and I hate you because I shouldn't hate you, because it's really easy to make this movie not the worst movie ever, and they just didn't do it ever. Like, every chance they had to make this movie better than the worst movie ever made, they just went, no thanks, we'll just do it the worst way ever. And you're just like, why? Just don't. It's really hard to write a really good movie. It's not that hard to write a normal bad movie. It's really hard to write the worst movie ever. So that's why I hate it. And that's why it's my least favorite movie ever made.
Now, is there something you want to say about Dolittle? Like, Dolittle is, I don't know.
Awful? I think the first word that comes to mind is awful for me.
I think it might be the worst movie ever made.
But, Alex, question for you. Did you notice anything different, or is there any...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the bagpipes. That was... Yeah, that was a fun watch through the second time. I don't know how I forgot about the bagpipes. I think I tried to repress that memory. Because I remember the farting, I remember the armor, and I remember them, like, getting hit with something. And even looking back, I remember talking about how, like, they got hit with the armor. They didn't get hit with the armor. He threw it aside, and then he shoved the leak up her butt, which I also forgot about. I thought he just went barehanded in there. Leak, because reasons. Yeah, and then the bagpipes. That was interesting.
Yeah. I wish, because I think, Alex, you commented on it. My face when there was just a dragon just hanging out. What? There's just a dragon now. They exist.
I wish they would have gone, like, way over the top with stuff like that. Like, the dragon was, like, in the cave, like, chilling back with a glass of wine. Like, I wish that's how over the top stupid this movie was. Because then at the end of the day, I could have accepted everything. Being like, okay, this movie is aware and knows it's terrible. Let's just be as dumb as we can.
Okay.
Exactly. You could be the worst movie ever made, and then you just sprinkle on a little self-awareness, and you're like, oh my god, this is the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah.
That self-awareness is key. That's what turns stupid crap like The Meg into fun and dumb and watchable.
Yeah.
You watch that movie and you're like, man, that sucked, but that was fun and that was dumb and now it's over. Because they know it's fun and dumb.
Yeah.
And they're just like, check us out, we're fun, we're dumb, watch us. And you're like, all right. But then you just, like, you watch this and they're just like, and you're like, no, 1,000 times no, 1,000,000 times. Stop everything you're doing and shut up because you didn't do it. Just go away now, forever. Don't ever make movies again. All of you, forever. Stop. But if you just had, like, a little self-awareness, and they're like, it sucks, right? And you're like, I know, but it's fun.
I totally agree there. I think that's enough for Alex. I think he needs a breather, and a year's worth vacation for having to talk about this movie one last time. But Mike, any final statements about this movie?
If you want to watch one of the worst movies ever made and have an hour and 40 minutes to do nothing with your life, I would
Dolittle.
recommend this movie. Other than that, don't watch this movie.
That's her.
I hit the nail on the head about the title. It did do very little.
It definitely makes me
This guy.
it definitely makes me sad for how much I loved the original Dr. Dolittle, and then they tried to do a weird reboot for it and kind of just ruined everything with it. As they say, there's a couple sparing moments that you'll chuckle at. They're funny, but as a whole, I would never recommend really watch this. I'll be honest, not gonna crack my top 5 least favorite movies, but it's in the top 10. It would definitely be in the top 10. So yeah, that's been another episode of TNC Movie Nights, reviewing Dolittle. I'm so sorry, Alex. It's been a fun time. If you're watching the ending review, we do have the full episode of us watching it, of course, clipped up together, the best moments. Thank you so much for coming by. If you want to follow us on all of our social media, go to thenerdchambers.com. That's where you can find all of our social media, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check us out on TikTok as well. We post 1 or 2 videos usually a week on there. Check out the merch shop. Appreciate a lot. That is shop.spreadshirt/thenerdchambers, sporting all our wonderful merch. And yeah, it's been a fun week. And of course, next month we'll be doing Elf. It's going to be one hell of a ride. I'm not excited. Thank you everyone for stopping by. It's been a fun time. I'm glad we got to have Mike on here again. Hopefully we can have you on, a little more. A little more would be fun.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always a real fun time hanging out with you guys doing this, so can't wait for more.
Awesome. All right. Alex, send us home.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you later. I'm Alex. I think that's Mike, and I think that's Brandon. You know our faces. You know our names. We'll see you guys later.